Welcome back everyone to another Tasty Tuesday. Today's recipe is the watermelon slush. And remember, this is coming from our Fresh Chef's cookbook. That information will be on the email that you will receive as to what page. But before we start our recipe today, I want to talk a little bit to you about the important facts of the watermelon. Did you know that watermelons are the Georgia's #1 produce crop? It is fat-free, low in calories, and has a good source of vitamin A and C. Do you know how to look for a ripe watermelon? Look for firmness, as well as a slight dull rind, and that is fully round. And unfortunately, I've already cut our watermelon, but as you can see, you can kind of see how round it is. All right, enough about the important facts. Let's get to making this slushy. I've already cut the watermelon in half, and then took the half and turned it into a quarter. So we have a 1/4 of the whole watermelon. And I've already cut it up into my bowl. We have a half a cup of lemon juice, a half a cup of sugar, and then a pint of strawberries. And as you can see, this is basically a pint. It's a pound, it's labeled a pound, but remember, a pound is equivalent to a pint. We also have our ice and a blender. You might also Okay, so now that we've talked about everything that we need, all of our ingredients and our blender, I now need to wash my hands really good before we start preparing this actual watermelon slush. And remember, we talked about 20-second rule of washing your hands really good. And by counting that, you can do your 4-H pledge. I pledge my head to clearer thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, and my health to better living, for my club, my community, my country, and my world. And that is, and should be, close to 20 seconds. All right, so now to the good part. All right, so first we're gonna take, it basically doesn't really matter what order you put it in. So I'm gonna kind of start with my watermelon because it's the biggest, and I may not use it all. It just depends on the size of blender that you're using. So let's get started. All right, I'm gonna take my hands and I'm just gonna fill this bad boy up. It might take, I don't know, I think it might be too much because I still got to get my strawberries in there. So I'm going to take a little bit out. And now I'm going to put my strawberries in. Probably should have started with strawberries. That way I'd have known how much watermelon to put in there. But that's okay. Because we want to use all the strawberries. I think anyway. All right. So then I'm going to add my sugar. And the lemon juice, because that's what's going to give it something to actually churn it with. And we're going to blend this up first before we add our ice, because as you can see, there's no room. So you just put it on puree. That made a huge container. Now I'm going to take some ice and slowly pop it in. And I don't know if you know this or not, but this little top right here, actually comes off our blenders. That way you could actually just drop it in as it's blended. So now I'm going to turn it back on. And this is what they call a pulse. On the blender, it's for ice crushing. And there you have it, a watermelon slush. You'll carefully take it out of the blender holder, and we're gonna pour you some watermelon slushy. You could also add some whipped cream, a little bit of a strawberry on top for garnishing, or even a piece of watermelon. Like that. So tasty and refreshing. I hope you enjoy. Go now, make you some watermelon slushy. Cheers.